Hello and welcome to Pardon the Interruption. My name is Luke Brown. I'm joined by Alex, Brendan, and Donovan. Today we are looking ahead to the NFL season, specifically who is going to win the Super Bowl. And I quickly flip over to Alex on his pick.
I have to pick the Cincinnati Bengals, man. As long as Joe Burrow stays healthy and he gets a good offensive line, which they did upgrade during the offseason, and I feel like that the whole roster stays healthy. I feel like their shots at winning is very high.
Brendan?
Personally, I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. A lot of people are saying that Josh's window is passed, the Bills' window is passed. I'm going to say Diggs was terrible for the locker room. Diggs was not a great influence on any of the guys whatsoever. I think now that he's gone, we have Keon Coleman. There's a lot of pieces that we've been able to add. I think this is the Bills' year.
Donovan?
Yeah, well, it's hard not to choose the hometown Philadelphia Eagles. I think one of the best offenses in the league only got better with the addition of Saquon Barkley, Paris Campbell, and Kellen Moore to call plays. One of their big flaws last year was play calling. They brought in a new play caller, and on the defense side, they drafted heavily with corners like Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, a defensive end in Jalix Hunt, and again brought in a new coordinator in Vic Fangio.
Yeah, and I look at an AFC an AFC East team from you, an NFC East team from you, two teams that went toe-to-toe in the offseason, came down to the final play. If it comes down this season to the entire season coming down to the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles, what about your two picks are going to be able to set each other apart and take the win? Start with you, Brendan.
I think it's our offensive coordinator, Joe Brady. I think he didn't spend enough time in the booth calling plays this year. I think Ken Dorsey tried to run the scoreboard up way too much. Offense started producing way better as soon as Joe Brady hit the booth and called plays. So that's, I think, is going to be the difference maker.
Donovan?
I think for the Eagles, it's the depth. They have depth at so many different positions in offense and now defense with the secondary. And even not even just depth, but star players too. The Bills had a lot of veterans leave the team, including Stephon Diggs and multiple people in the secondary.
Yeah, and I look also at your pick, Alex. Another team that the Bills and the Bengals have gone toe-to-toe in the past couple seasons as well. What's going to allow this Bengals team to be able to compete with the Steelers, the Browns, and specifically the Ravens, a Ravens team that went to the AFC Championship? When the Bengals face the Ravens, how are the Bengals going to be able to get the job done?
They're going to have a great offensive line, actually. I mean, that you got to give credit to the Ravens defense. I mean, their whole defensive line is just good. They got very good linebackers who can blitz. And I feel like if the Bengals O-line improves this year, that's really what's been holding them back. I mean, you look back to the 2022 AFC Championship where Joe Burrow got sacked 5 times, and it was because he had backup offensive linemen. They were all getting injured. It's just I feel like that they can take the next step, and pretty much every single play that game, I just see him getting hit, even if it was a great play. And if I feel like the offensive line can bring it all together, can finally be able to protect him, I feel like that they can go far. I feel like it's holding them back for 2 years in a row. Against the Rams, it came down because Aaron Donald hit him the last play of the game, and I feel like if the offensive line can get it together, that's what really will bring them all to win it all.
Alex talks about the offensive line. Donovan, the offensive line in Philadelphia. Jason Kelce retires. The center, certainly a position for this team to fill in the coming seasons. Is the offensive line a concern in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I don't think it's as much of a concern as people think it is. Obviously, Kelsey's a generational talent to lose, but we've seen Jeff Stoutland produce incredible talent on the offensive line, such as Jordan Mailata, who had never played football before, drafted in the 7th round, now one of the highest paid tackles in the league. So while I do think it's a concern, I don't think it's as big of a concern as other people.
This is SBC Radio. We're talking PTI previewing the NFL season. Brendan, I want to go back to a take and get some reactions for the rest of our desk. You talk about Stephon Diggs not being good for this Buffalo locker room. Alex, Donovan, do you agree with what Brendan had to say initially?
I definitely agree with what he said. But I mean, Stephon Diggs, you could see during the game and stuff, I think he started to lose control and started to let his emotions get the best of him, and I think that created a toxic locker room culture, and I think that's something the Bills don't need. I mean, they're a great team. I'm not gonna lie there. They're a great team. They have chances of winning Super Bowls, but they're just always falling short, and there's always something wrong with the receivers, like Stephon Diggs maybe not getting enough targets, maybe Josh Allen throwing him fat balls, but he's not really that leader that you would like to see. I do like wide receivers who make it known that they want the football. But when it comes down to being a leader, I just don't feel like that. That's something the Bills don't need right now.
Donovan, I'm going to skip. We're going to go right to our final cases, rapid fire. Make the case for your team in 30 seconds or less.
We have the best depth in the league with 2 new coordinators and star talent on the field as well.
The Bills for Brendan.
New additions: Keon Coleman, full-time offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey. Those are the 2 biggest pieces that we're going to have.
Alex is picking Cincinnati.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, great chemistry with each other. They will definitely bring the team really far. And also the defense with Trey Hendrickson and Sam Hubbard. They're going to go.
Well, the MLB season is in full swing. We get to that next. Coming up, PTI on the SBC Radio.